Hello everybody. So I was going to ask if you're wondering what this was, but from the title you'll know what this mess is all about. So what I'm going to do is, for my trip, I want to have something to do that I can do while I'm waiting on the phone or on the plane, whatever. I don't want to wear out my phone battery. I can be on my phone and, watch videos and all of that, but then what do I do if my battery starts to get low? So I want something no tech, right, that I can do. So my thought is to make watercolor pages, take a watercolor brush with me or two. I won't have to fill them up with water until after I get through security. And so what I'm going to do is, you definitely need to have watercolor paper. And I'm going to cut a bunch of different pages, but I'll just do one for you. And I'm going to do them 4x6, and that way later on, if they turn out good, I can use them for a card if they turn out. So I want them to be, let's see, what is this? Okay, so I'm going to go 4x6. So I'm just going to go 4 1/8, because this is 8 1/2. So I'm going to go 4 1/8. And that gives me 2. And then I'm going to go 6. And that's just going to be a little bit shy because it's a little over 11 1/2. So I can't go quite 6. So let me go, what is it? 5 3/4 is 10, 11 1/2. So 5 3/4. I believe it's 5 3/4. And we'll figure that out. We'll find out right now. It cut through the 2. So it's not quite right. Let's see, 5 3/4. So I needed to go to the one right before. But these will work anyways the way they are. The next step is to get my stamp. And I'm going to want my stamping platform. Now, it's watercolor paper, so it's got a texture to it, right? So you're going to want to use a stamping platform. Where is my... I used it recently. Here it is. And I'm going to get my stamping platform. And I'm going to put my paper on here. And put it down. Because I'm going to want to go over it probably more than once. I'm going to want to do it repeatedly. Just to... okay, and then I need, of course, a stamp that I want to color in. And I have this flower that I used in other videos to make other cards. But, I mean, and they may not turn out usable. But I just want to have them where if they do, they're good. Okay, now I need to get the colors that I want, and I think I'm going to do orange and green on this one. And I might put a little bit of this in and a little bit of this in, and that's what I'll do. Make sure this is going to be down good. Make sure my flower's where I want it, how I want it. It needs to go this way. Okay, I haven't used these in a while and I haven't checked them. I probably should have checked them, but I just kind of jumped in. So I'm going to start with the green. Okay, so these are good and juicy. And you can use any watercolor pens or markers that you have. I didn't mean pens because pens are not going to do the same thing. I'm going to kind of work a little quickly here. Then I'm going to put plenty of ink down. This is kind of an aqua color, but let's just put a little bit in here just. And then I'm going to start with this lighter color, which is really kind of a yellow. And I'm just going to work it. Work it. And I can then come in with this orange. Maybe I'll use that more towards the center. Okay. And now you can spritz it really, really lightly, or I call that huffing. It's kind of hard on a bigger stamp like this. And then I'm just going to come in and I'm going to stamp it, and I'm going to give it plenty of time for that ink to go down. Okay. And there it is. Now, I want to make sure I have plenty of ink on it. So I'm going to come back over, and this time I'm going to do the flower first because it looks like it has the most ink. Although I probably should do the flower last because it's the bigger item. Stick some of this back in the center. And then go back with the green. I'm not putting green in the center because it might make it brown. And I don't want brown. And a little bit more of the dark in some spots. Not a lot. And I'm going back over because I want to make sure there's plenty of ink to pull from. So I'm going to do it that way. Now, another thing I want to do is just in case the ink gets too dry and I can't pull the ink, I'm going to come in with these watercolor pencils, and I'm going to have me a little palette of ink, of watercolor, and these pencils will come off with water. But again, I'm putting it on watercolor paper. Okay, and yellow. And orange. These ones are really, these are the newer ones, and I haven't really used these before. So now I have my little palette, and I'm gonna put these to the side. Put that to the side, and I'm gonna come in with another piece of paper. And I can do that stamp over again, which means I would want to clean it to get that color off, right? Or And I still want to clean it, but I can wait. I can come in and do a different flower. And I think I'm going to try the rose. And I've got the rose here. Some of these I have dyes for, some of them I don't. And so I'm going to also do some leaves here. I believe at one time they did all have dyes, but that's not the leaf I want. Let me pull this whole thing out. I'm gonna look for something that looks more like those. Just because if I can work them together and use them together, then I'm better off. So I'm basically gonna do the same process. I'm gonna get my stamps and I'm gonna get my markers and I'm just gonna and these same leaves will be with another flower stamp also, so that if at some point I decide that they're not enough alike, then I can, I think I want a different color though. I think I'm gonna go red and pink. Well, maybe I'll do these two pinks. Okay. So I'll come in. And put some pink, darker pink in there, but leave the lighter around the edge. You want to try to huff on it? It's a lot to huff. I'm hoping I did it fast enough that it's not going to matter. So the only thing you got to worry about is that the ink dries too much, and that can happen, and that's why I have the colors. See, that didn't even take on the flower. Or the leaves. Look at that. So you can see I definitely need to go back over these, especially this leaf. On the inside, it really looks like there's still plenty of ink on it, but it might have dried out too fast. And because I have it in a positioner, I can do just some of it. I don't have to do all of them. So I can go ahead and stamp these and then come back and restamp the flower if I feel like it's just drying too fast. That's the nice thing about the positioner, right, is we can do that. For some reason, this one's not wanting to stamp. Okay. Somebody told me when that happens, if you put something underneath, that piece of it It might help. I don't know why that piece doesn't want to. I don't know if it's the positioner. It seems like there was that problem with another one, maybe in this spot. I can see the ink on there, but it's just not transferring well. See the empty spot and the empty spot? Check and make sure there's no air bubble there. I can see the ink on there still. Still no good. I don't know. That should still be okay though for the, let me do the flower. The edges especially looked very light, even though this is a lighter color than the rest of it. The edges were very light. So I'm going to come back and do that. And more dark around. Okay. And they go really quick to color. And let me tell you what happened last time. So I did this last time, and I had my little water brush, and I had my little palette, and I'm getting ready to watercolor, and the little girl sitting like across the aisle from me. What are you doing? So I'm getting ready to watercolor. Oh, you have watercolor? Yeah, I have watercolor. Oh, that's pretty. I said, thank you. And she was telling her mom, I want some watercolor. Well, what's the difference between a grown woman bored on a plane and a small child bored on a plane? Right, I actually understand how fast time goes and all of that. She maybe doesn't so much. So I said, here, why don't you go ahead and use my watercolors? And her mom was like, oh, no, no, no. I'm like, yes, let her use my watercolors. And I definitely want another one of that. Let her use my watercolors, and it'll make it easier for you. And I said, as a matter of fact, let me gift this to her, and then we don't have to worry about it. She can take it with her. I mean, it was all stuff I made. The only thing I was really giving her was paper and ink and a water brush, right? And it made her day, and she was so happy, and she sat there practically the whole time. And the mom asked me again, are you sure you don't want these back? And I said, no, I don't need them back. I want to make sure and try these a different way. So that I'm getting all of the leaves. Okay. So I didn't have anything to watercolor. And I didn't have anything at the end of the flight to show for my time and my work, but you know, it was worth it. For me, it was definitely worth it. So we're just gonna leave it at that. Okay. I can see the outline of the flower. I'm gonna go ahead and show you. I'm just gonna do the flower first. Now I think the mom was a little stressed showing her about the water brush. Maybe the mom didn't quite understand. But I told her she can take the water and put the water to the side, and then you don't have to worry about squeezing it or anything. It will still come out on its own, but so I think she ended up getting a cup from the stewardess and putting the water in the cup and holding the cup for her, I think. So that being said, if I end up losing my water brush this time, so this is my favorite, this one from Diamond Press, and I don't think they have them anymore. So if I lose at this time, then that's it. I don't think I have any more. And these are all big. These ones, this one, not so bad. But these other ones are pretty good size. What about this one? That one's not bad. What about this one? Not bad, okay. So to make sure that I give her one of my other ones. And then for her, they're all the same, right? So, or for the kids, it's all the same. So it won't make a difference. So I'm just gonna put the lighter color around the outside is what I'm thinking. I mean, you might as well go ahead and put all of it down, but I was just gonna do the outside. But I'll go ahead and do this. I didn't even huff it. I thought it went quick enough. And there's quite a bit of color on there. So yes. And I like to do it a couple of times just to make sure there's plenty of ink on there and, you know. It's this spot because now this stamp is really having a bad time. Look. This one went good though. So this stamp didn't like it at all. was even worse than the first time. No, that's not the right one. It's this one. It's this one that's not liking it. Well, I really had to push down on that. But that should be good. It did work, but I had to push really hard on that. It's like there's a bad dip or something. I don't know. Okay. For now, I'm going to stop right here. And I know I have to make more, but I just want to show you. This one has water. How it works. Just in case you've never done it, you just bring in the water. And with most of these water brushes, you don't need to squeeze, and that's where a lot of people have a harder time understanding, is with these water brushes. You don't necessarily need to squeeze. Now you might want more water. If you do, and you come over there, you just can go to the side and get that water. And you're just gonna spread it. Oop, I didn't mean to do that much water. That's why I usually do it to the side, and I thought, oh, it came out so good. But look at what I did. So, and then you have a napkin or something, hopefully, to the side. And you can get that color off, and it comes off really easy too. See? So then I can come back, and now I can get that green moving. And move the green. Now I just did this, so it's moving pretty good, and I don't know if it's gonna stay that way with these, but here's the thing, if it doesn't, say I have a little spot over here, let me just draw a little flower. Let's say it's not moving. Oh my, it didn't move. Okay, well, let me get this wet and pick up this color. It's not moving. That's not good. Oh, this might not be watercolor. It's a good thing I checked. Now this one, yeah, it says watercolor, so those are not watercolor. So I'll show you how it works, but know that I'm gonna have to get some of the Spectrum Noir watercolors because I don't want to do flowers in skin tones. Look at how that's not a pretty color. sometimes you don't know till you do it. But you take and you make your palette. So these are more moved with Gamsol, and I'm not trying to get Gamsol on a plane. They're going to be like, seriously? Did you really think you were going to get Gamsol on a plane? Right? I'm going to have a pink flower. How about that? And maybe some of this right here. It's skin tone, but it's kind of a peachy looking color. Okay. And these can sit, and it's not going to matter. It's still going to work. So you get that, you get the water, and it gets it moving. And you can now bring it over. You can't see that color, can you? See how that color is moving? Now you can bring it over. Get that color off of there. And they give you them little napkins. But watch. See that watercolor? They'll give you napkins on the plane. Boy, it's a good thing I didn't try using those. They give you them little napkins that go under your drink. And you can use that. Let's see there. That's how I can watercolor on the plane. And I'm going to make a little book. So all I'm going to do is, I'll do that. We'll do that real quick too, maybe. Because most of this I'll do off the video, but I did want to show you what I was doing in case, and maybe you never thought of doing it. I'm going to find some paper. Let me get, oh, you know what? It'll be pretty. I don't know what to do with it. Oh, but I love this paper, so I'm going to go ahead. So it's 4x6, and the paper we're cutting, and this is 12 by 12, right? So we know that we need 6. Which one do I want to put in my seat? I think this one. I'm not in my seat, in my bag. Okay, and I'm going to come back with my paper cutter because it is my scoreboard. So I know they need to be at least 6, and I want to make them a little bit more than 6. I'm going to move this over to the scoring one. And I'm going to get my scoring tool. So I want to make it a little bit bigger than 6. So I'm going to go, let's do 6.5. This way. And this is going to fold this way. And these are going to be in my pockets. I could have gone a little bit better, but let's just do that. Okay, then I need on this other direction to score in half at 6 because the paper's 12. So now we've got this and this, right? I don't need it this wide. So here's how my paper sits in there. I don't need it this wide. So I'm gonna take, and I'm gonna go to, what do I need it at? 4. So I wanna leave a little bit of room at 4, so I'm gonna go 4 1/4. And I wanna leave a little bit more, so 4 3/4 is gonna give me 1/2 inch extra. Probably hard to understand what I'm saying, but now I want to leave a little bit more than 4. So I'm going to come, grab my scoring tool, and for it to be where I want it to be at 4, let's say 4 1/4, this is extra right here. Is extra. Okay, I'll turn it this way. I go 4 1/4 and score at 4 1/4. That cannot be right. I went to the wrong. It switched lines on me. Okay. You can barely see the line on this one. So I'm gonna do at 4 1/4. It went over again. Okay. 4 1/4. I am now going to, wait, it's been a long time. I'm trying to figure out what I'm gonna do. Okay. I'm gonna break my scissors and I'm gonna cut this off, right? Oh, if I'm wrong, it's just a piece of paper, and even though it's my beautiful tonic paper, it is just a piece of paper. I'm gonna cut that off. Right. So now I got my pocket. This can fold over. For some reason, I was thinking it folds here. This pocket is way too big. Way too big. I don't want my pocket that big. This is what I do. Got it. Here and glue here. So, like that. But this pocket is just too big. I don't like that much pocket. So, let's do... Let's see if this is enough. That's still too much pocket. That's still too much pocket. Okay, there we go. So, I'm going to cut, I'm going to fold this on the score line. Where's that score line? Okay, now, I don't know. I am messing this up all kinds of ways, aren't I? There we go. And I'm going to cut this one off. No. Okay, so the pocket goes here. We fold it. Get it evened. And then we glue here. And we glue here. And we end up with our little booklet. But this needs to be a little bit smaller. I could be doing this completely wrong. It's been so long. Now I'm not putting anything in this that I have to worry about losing, right? So now I can do that and then fold it. And it's good, right? So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and do it. I'm gonna put the glue on the little tabs. No. I almost forgot that little niche. You gotta have the little niche, okay? Otherwise, it's gonna close up that whole piece. And I almost skipped it. Now, if you want to tidy it up, notch your little corners. You know, put it underneath instead of on top. I like this way because I feel like I don't have to worry about my pieces falling out. Okay, make my little notch. And then glue. And that's why I said I just ended up giving it to the little girl. It wasn't like I was losing anything important, or it's just paper, ink, you know, some scribbles, some stamping. And for what it did for our trip, so that the little girl was entertained and busy. And I tell you what, too, the stewardess was very nice to me after that. And the mother was all kinds of thankful, so. Not that that's why we do it, but now I have some decent sized pockets. And this can go in here, right? Uh-oh. I can always come back and trim them if I need to later. Might as well just do it now. Just trim it a little bit. Just so it fits in there nice. Still too big. Baby. I am making a mess out of this. I really am. Oh, I had another sheet in there. what I know is that this is gonna be die cut anyway, so I'm not worried about it. But there we go. If that was, you know, good, then trim it also. But I used this, so this won't go. But that can go in there also. Your little piece of paper here. I usually put that on the other side. I usually make a few of them, and they go on the other side. And that way I know this is my coloring stuff, and this is what I use to color with. And it goes on the other side. This is going to come out. I'm going to cut this down, but I want to leave enough room for the die later on. All right. This now I'm not going to use because I put the wrong stuff in here and I don't want to be on the plane trying to use it. And then I just stick my brush in like one of my pen holders or whatever. You take it empty. When you get in past security, then you can put water in it and you're set to go, right? And you can make as many as you want. It really doesn't matter. Of course, I've got to now pull in different pencils because those pencils were the wrong ones. I thought, how nice. These colors are nice. They're about every color that I want. And of course, it didn't work that way, but that's going to fit in my purse nice. You could even do it that way. And there you go. It's ready to go. All right, everybody, if you liked my video, please hit the like and subscribe button. Thank you for joining me, and I hope you join me again. Bye-bye now.